Neil deGrasse Tyson recently made a video on the Big Think, and Theo Warner responded to that video. I'll link both of their videos below. In Neil deGrasse Tyson's video, he went on about how people are always trying to call him an atheist, and even on his Wikipedia page, they called him an atheist. He went in and edited it to say agnostic, and then they edited it back to say atheist. And he brings up the point that the word was the word that he prefers to identify with is agnostic. And that's all well and good. You can identify as anything you want. I don't really care. But the fact of the matter is, by his own words and things that he said in the past, quotes from him, ideas that he's expressed, he's an atheist. He doesn't believe specifically in deities. Therefore, he's an atheist. That's what atheist means. And he goes on about the movement, the atheist movement, and how he doesn't want to be identified as an atheist because of the movement. And that's also well and good. You don't have to be identified with a movement, but that would be like me saying, well, I don't identify with any white movements, so don't call me white. Or I don't identify with any male movements, so don't call me male. Or I don't identify with any short people movements, so don't call me short. I'm a short white male. Doesn't matter that I don't want to be called a short white male. It's as simple as that. I am what I am, and he is an atheist. He want to call himself an agnostic, fine. Neil deGrasse Tyson's an agnostic. That means he doesn't know if there's a God or not. He also doesn't believe that there's a God. That means he's an atheist. Theo Warner, in his video, did a lot of hemming and hawing and talking about how atheists don't use references to Camus and other atheist thinkers like Nietzsche. And that's true. A lot of atheists, when we're making our points, don't quote Voltaire. We don't say, as Descartes said, blah, blah, blah. And that applies to what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. Because that's posh pontificating. It's not talking. That's not conversation. That's being a pretentious prick. So sorry, we're not all pretentious pricks, Theo. Some of us just talk about what we think and say what's on our minds and express actual opinions that aren't rooted in a fancy book learning. Now I've read Voltaire, I've read Camus, I've read Descartes. I know what they thought, and I know what they said, and I know how they said it. I've heard, I think therefore I am, the Descartes quote, cogito ergo sum. I've heard that used to mean 4 or 5 different things according to different people. Just because somebody has read it doesn't mean they understand it. And even if they do understand it, doesn't mean that they can or must apply it to what they're saying. That's just bullshit. So yeah, if that's the way you want to think about it, that's the way you want to live your life, being pretentious, that's fine. That's that's who you want to be. That's fine. And you can refuse to identify as a theist or an atheist. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is, you either do or do not. This is not a false dichotomy situation. There is a dichotomy. It may vacillate. You may believe that there's a God today and not believe there's a God tomorrow and believe again on the third day. But at any given time, you either are a theist or you are an atheist. And if you have come to a conclusion and you hold that conclusion, waiting for evidence to change the conclusion, you can change your conclusion. If I'm an atheist today, if somebody was to prove to me tomorrow that there is a God somehow, I would be a theist. I would change to a theist. I'm not committed, I'm not locked into being an atheist just because I identify as an atheist. I used to identify as Irish, and then I found out that I'm more German. So, whatever, it doesn't matter. I changed what I identify as because I found out differently. So, yeah, I respect both of these men. Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of the smartest men alive today. Theo Warner does a pretty good job of expressing his opinion most of the time, and I respect that. But they're both wrong. Wrong on this point. That's it. They're just wrong. There's no two ways around it. There's no skirting the issue. You can try to flip and flop and hem and haw all you want, you're wrong. If you say that you're not an atheist or you're not a theist because you don't want to identify as either, then you're just being disingenuous. Simple as that. Thank you.